Those of you who've read the book will no doubt recognise the passage. Fliss had the nightdress over her head when she heard Mari gulp. So it wasn't until she'd taken the costume off that she saw what had caused Mari's reaction. "This is the nurse's costume," said Mrs. Carstairs. She was holding up something that could only be described as a tent. It was a shapeless mass of brown and white fabric that didn't even seem to have recognisable sleeves. "Arms up," said Mrs. Carstairs to Mari, who hadn't even taken off her strappy top and shorts. The voluminous material settled down over Mari, making her look like a small round cake, with a head sticking out the top. She looked absolutely horrible. Fliss wanted to laugh, but she sensed Mari wouldn't respond well at all to this, so she bit her lips harshly. "Oh, my God," Mari mouthed when Mrs. Carstairs' back was turned. "I look like a Christmas pudding." "And here's the headscarf," said Mrs. Carstairs, producing a large white square which she tied round Mari's head like a nun's wimple. "You are kidding," said Mari in a strangled voice. "What do you mean?" asked Mrs. Carstairs, absorbed in her task. "This is how the nurse is traditionally seen, Mari. Your costume is from the BBC too, you know. We were lucky to get it." Mari didn't look as though she agreed. "I'm drowning in it," she said. Mrs. Carstairs stood back and looked her up and down. She said. "Yes, you are rather." Mari looked relieved, but her face dropped when Mrs. Carstairs said, "We'll just have to find you some padding. Hang on a minute." She opened a cupboard door and a whole box of vests and underwear toppled out. "Whoops, I do wish we had more room. Now, where did I put them? Ah!" She turned round. "Here it is!" There was a stunned silence. Then Mari whispered, "That. You want me to wear that?" The laughter that had been bubbling in Fliss overflowed. She let out a gigantic snort and then collapsed into hysterical giggles. "It's a perfectly practical solution," said Mrs. Carstairs, holding the enormous padded bra and looking a little annoyed. "You're behaving like children. Fliss, if you've finished, you can get dressed and go." Fliss, almost crying with laughter, hastily pulled on her shorts. It would probably be best if she left, since Mari looked as though she was about to explode with anger. As she closed the door behind her, she heard Mrs. Carstairs say to Mari, "Right, let me show you how to put it on."